Hi students, how are you today? I hope you are doing great. Welcome to another day of learning opportunity. I am your Teacher Abby. Don't you worry because I made learning English easy. So come on, get your pen, paper, and self-learning module and together we will learn and love English. Today, I'll be discussing with you another topic about English 8 and it's all about
literature, mirror to a shared heritage of people with diverse backgrounds.
But before that, let us look into the objectives of today's lesson.
At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to first, define literature, heritage, and diverse backgrounds. Second, analyze the story for a better understanding of these backgrounds. Third, appreciate people's diverse backgrounds by comparing Thai's characteristics and Filipino characteristics based from the story viewed. And last, write a short folk literature that mirrors their own heritage and backgrounds.
Now, are you ready to gain new knowledge? That's awesome!
Now, let's start with our first activity.
Pick me up.
Look at these pictures. What do you see? Are they familiar to you? What do you think is the country represented by these pictures? You're right! It's Thailand. Let's name each pictures. The first one is the map of Thailand. Are you familiar with this country? What do you know about Thailand? That's interesting. Here's another map, the map of Asia. Can you see our country, Philippines? How about Thailand? Yes, there it is. Our next picture is the Temple of the Emerald Buddha in Bangkok, the capital city of Thailand. There are 35,000 temples in Thailand. It is truly a land of temples. Next is the currency of Thailand called baht. It is equivalent to 1.54 pesos. So, if you have 1,000 pesos, it's equivalent to 1,540 Thai baht. And last, the Thai monk. There is a strong tradition of young men becoming monks. In Thailand, head is also considered as the most important part of the body, and so, Thai culture forbids touching anyone on the head. Scientifically, the human head is home to all the body's major sensory organs, and the most important of these is the brain. Encased in the skull, the brain is the body's centralized conveyor of all information.
Today, we're going to explore and know more about literature, specifically the literature of Thailand.
But before that, here are the keywords that you need to know. Heritage, something that is handed down from the past. In Filipino, pamana. Examples are the culture and tradition. Here at Firol, we are known for our annual celebration of Purun Festival. Diverse background. Diverse is an adjective that means distinctly dissimilar or unlike. It also means many and different. If a group or range of things is diverse, it is made up of a wide variety of things. Example, people with different races have diverse background. Just like here in Romblon, each municipality has diverse backgrounds, specifically in dialects. We have Asi, Ini, and Unhan. Next is literature, derived from the Latin literatura, meaning writing formed with letters. Literature most commonly refers to works of the creative imagination, including poetry, drama, fiction, non-fiction, journalism, and in some instances, a song. There is also literature that is not written, but circulated orally among the people. It is called folklore or folk literature. Literature is the mirror of human life. So, Literature is one of the human's way of expressing thoughts and feelings at the same time, an avenue to share culture and tradition to other people. Today, our focus is on literature, mirror to a shared heritage of people with diverse backgrounds.
Now, let us explore Thailand by this folktale. Enjoy!
Makato and the Cowrie Shell. Once upon a time, there was a boy whose name was Makato. He was an orphan, for his mother and father had died when he was very young. He had no brothers, sisters, cousins, or friends to take care of him, so he had to make a living for himself. He did every kind of work, carrying heavy things, clearing away the forest, or feeding pigs. He never idled over his work, and although he was paid only a small wage, he was satisfied. He knew that if he did not work, he would starve. Wherever he went, his employers praised him for being sensible, hardworking, good-tempered, and cheerful. One fine evening, after he had finished chopping up a big pile of wood, he sat down for a rest and thought of all he would like to do in the future. He wanted to try his luck in far-off strange lands, for he longed for his exciting adventures.
What are you thinking about so deeply, my boy?
I would like to go on a journey for adventure, said Makato, pointing to the northeast.
I've heard that the land over there is fertile, and the people are kind. I wish I could see that land for myself. They say Praruwang of Sukhothai is a very kind-hearted king. You might be lucky if you could go there.
Sometime later, Makato decided to try his fortune. He left his village and set out into the wide world. After a month's journey, he reached a village on the frontier of the kingdom of Sukhothai.
Please, can I have some water to drink?
Makato asked an old woman with a big water pot on her head.
I'm so thirsty. Where did you come from? Why are you here alone? You look as if you've come a long way.
Thank you so much, said the boy.
Who are your father and mother from? Haven't you have any family?
I have neither mother nor father. I came from the city of Morn over there.
Good heavens! Have you really come from Morn? How is that you are traveling alone? Such a young boy as you are.
I wanted to see Praruwang of Sukhothai. They say he is a very kind-hearted king.
You are a determined boy. Come along with me. Who knows? You might see Praruwang someday.
Makato was glad to go with her. If he could work for this kind woman, he would have a place to sleep, some food to eat, and perhaps someday he might be lucky enough to see the king. The old woman's husband was one of Praruwang's mahouts, which meant that he helped look after the hundreds of elephants that the king owned. Makato helped the mahout find food for the elephants and clean out the elephants' sheds. He worked hard and well, and the mahout and his wife were fond of him. One day, as he worked in the elephant sheds, a tall young in a splendid costume, followed by attendants, came in. It was Praruwang himself. Makato bowed low at once with his hands clasped together before him. His heart beated fast.
Where did that boy come from?
The king asked the old mahout who was attending him.
He came all the way from the city of Moon. He heard so much about you, your majesty, that he longed to see you. How old is he?
12 years old, your majesty.
A good-looking and hard-working boy,
said the king.
Take good care of him.
As the king walked away, Makato saw a little cowrie shell lying on the ground. He ran to pick it up and held it out to the king, but the king said with a smile,
You may keep it.
How wonderful! dreadful, Makato thought. The king has given me a cowrie shell. At that time, the people of Sukhothai used cowrie shells as money, although one cowrie shell had little value. Makato wanted to make as much use of it as possible, for it was the king's gift. For a long time, he could not think of a way to use it so that it would earn more money for him. One day, he passed by a stall in the market where the seeds of many different plants were sold. He looked along the stall and caught sight of a basket full of lettuce seeds. Lettuce! He could grow small plants like that. He asked the jolly-looking woman at the stall.
Can I buy some of those lettuce seeds?
Oh, yes, my boy. How much do you want?
I have one cowrie shell.
One cowrie shell? Said the woman, laughing. That won't buy anything. I can't even measure that much.
Look, I'll dip my finger into a pile of seeds, then I'll take the seeds that stick to it. That must be about right for one cowrie shell.
Well, why not? All right, boy, help yourself. Makato paid the woman his one cowrie shell. Then he put his finger into his mouth and dipped it into a pile of seeds. When he pulled his wet finger out, it was covered with seeds. He carefully scraped them off his finger into the palm of his hand and went away happily clutching the seeds. Now that he had seeds, Makato broke the soil and sowed them at once. He watered the seed bed every day, and soon the young plants appeared. Day by day, he cleared more ground and planted more lettuce seedlings until the kitchen garden was covered with them. He was very proud of himself because he had done so well.
I wish I could give the king some of my fine lettuce, he thought.
One day, the king passed by the elephant's sheds. Again, Makato waited his opportunity, then knelt down and proudly presented his big bunches of lettuce to the king.
Where did you get these? I grew them from the cowrie shell you gave me, Your Majesty.
How could you do that? Asked the puzzled king. Makato told the king the whole story. The king was impressed with his intelligence and industry. So much so that later on, he gave Makato a job in the palace. As the years passed, Makato grew tall and handsome. He mastered every grace and served the king well. He was so loyal that the king trusted him absolutely. He was promoted to higher and higher positions until he was given the title of Kunwa, which meant that he was the most important person in the king's court. He was also happily married to a beautiful young daughter of the king. After that, the king made him the ruler of Mon. So, it was that Makato, who had once been a poor orphan, became the king of that prosperous kingdom.
Did you enjoy the story? Great! Did the story give you a glimpse of Thai's characteristics?
Of course, because Makato mirrors Thai's characteristics. Just like Makato, they are industrious, determined to reach their goal, and full of positivity.
What lessons in life did you get from the experiences of Makato? That's nice to know. Just like Makato, do you also have a dream? What is it? That's awesome. I hope you'll be there in the future. Now, let us have another activity.
Copycat. Using a Venn diagram, compare yourself to Makato, you as a Filipino, and Makato as a Thai. Remember, students, literature is very important to understand our diverse backgrounds. It is the mirror of human life. So, it is one of the human's way of expressing thoughts and feelings at the same time, an avenue to share culture and tradition to other people.
This time, let's have a short evaluation of your learning.
Write true if the statement is correct and false if it is not. Number 1. Heritage is something that is handed down from the past. You got it right. It's true. Number 2. Diverse background means having the same background. The correct answer is false. Number 3. Literature is the mirror of human life. So, literature is one of the human's way of expressing thoughts and feelings at the same time, an avenue to share culture and tradition to other people. True. Fantastic. Number 4. Makato is hopeless that he even stopped working. He always idled about life. It's false. Lastly, number 5. Makato and the Cowrie Shell is a folktale from Thailand that mirrors their backgrounds. Yes, it's true. Here are the answers. How's your score? Great job! And here's for your reading output. Write a short folktale and folk literature that mirrors your own heritage and backgrounds. Reminders, you can interview someone or ask your parents. Write your answer on your answer sheet. Please refer to the rubrics on your self-learning module as your guide in writing.
That's it for today, and I hope that you have learned a lot. Again, this is Teacher Abby, your English 8 teacher. See ya!